NFL Kansas City Chiefs predictions. So Chiefs, I wouldn't say they got any better. They did lose Tyreek Hill, but they did bring in like Juju, MVS, and the rookie. The defense though, they did lose Matthew and Ward, but they replaced him with another rookie and and Reed, and they also had a bunch of draft pick from the Kansas City Chiefs. So I don't think they got much worse, but didn't get much better either. So you have your first game, Cardinals. Cardinals, they won't have DeAndre Hopkins, and I question their defense, and I don't think Cardinals are going to do as well as they did last year. Kansas, I think, are too explosive for them, so I think Kansas. Then you got them versus the Chargers. Chargers are a good team this year. They have lots of talent. They got building on Mac, JC Jackson, and their offense is still very, very good. But this is a divisional; anything can happen. I think Chiefs have a home field advantage. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs. Then you got them versus the Colts. Colts, I think, are an underrated team this year. Offensive line could be better, but are still very, very good. Their weapons, did they draft anybody? Yeah, they did. They got Pierce, they still have Pittman, so not great wide receiver. Matt Ryan, I think he's going to have a good year with them. They still have Jonathan Taylor, the best running back. Their defense isn't bad, and I think Colts are very, very good advantage. Kansas City's going to be a good game, a very underrated game, and I'm going to pick the Colts. You got week 4 versus the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. Buccaneers, similar to the Colts, they're an all-around team. They did lose some pieces, and last time they played, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers totally thrashed the Chiefs. I don't think that would happen this time, but I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a better well-rounded team, so I'm going to take them. Then you have them versus the Raiders. Raiders. Their offense is totally stacked. I think their only weakness on offense is the offensive line, which could be better. The defense, they brought in a bunch of cornerbacks. They're looking good right now. Divisional game on Monday night. I say the Chiefs have done well as a divisional opponent. Then you have them versus the Bills. Bills beat them, or they beat the Bills on the divisional round in the AFC Championship the year before that. And Bills, I think they're looking for revenge. Their team is just as stacked, even more stacked. They have Josh Allen, and they got a new running back. They have a great wide receiving core. Their defense, they got Von Miller. So I'm going to take the Bills. Then you got the Chiefs versus the 49ers. Another really underrated game. It's a hard game, of course. You have to fly all the way to San Francisco. And I don't know. Trey depends on how Trey Lance do. Offensively, 49ers, they have good pieces. They still have Trent Williams, George Kittle, Debo if he stays. Ayuk, and their defense still has Bosa, Fred Warner. They got this Kansas City cornerback in Ward. Uh, and the San Francisco has a talented roster, but it's all about Trey Lance, how well he does. And against a good team like the Chiefs, I'm going to take the Chiefs. Then you got the bye, and then you got Denver versus the Titans. Last year, the Titans absolutely beat the Chiefs. This year, they're coming off a bye. Chiefs have home field advantage. The Titans, they still have Derrick Henry. Tannehill can be effective. I think their wide receiving corps are very thin, the Titans, and their defense, I think, took a step back or stayed the same. And the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm not sure how well. I don't think their run game is going to stop Derrick Henry that much, but I think there's going to be a high offensive game, and I trust the Kansas City Chiefs offense and coming off a bye on Kansas City. Then you have them versus the Jaguars. Jaguars, they're still rebuilding. They did spend a ton of money on pieces, but Kansas City, I'll take them. Then you have the Chargers. Like I said, the first game, Chargers are a very, very stacked team, and they usually Chiefs trouble. So I'm going to take the Chargers. I think they're going to split. Then you have the LA Rams. Interesting game, really. Rams, they have to travel to Kansas City, but they have a stacked team. They got Allen Robinson, got Bobby Wagner, and I think the Rams are just a better talented team. They have better depth, which will come in here. I think the Chiefs' depth, especially on certain positions, like their linebackers, defensive line is very thin. And I think one injury to the linebacker or defensive line that caused them a lot of problems. So I'm going to take the Rams. Then you have them versus the Bengals, and the Bengals, they beat Kansas City last year during the AFC Championships. I think Chiefs are looking for revenge. Bengals offense is totally stacked, but I think revenge will take over. And this is going to be a good game. Either one could win, but I'm with the Chiefs. Then you have the Broncos. Historically, Chiefs have won like 15 against the Broncos, but Broncos are revamped Russell Wilson. Their defense, I think, is thin. I think they could use a bit more defense, but they play in Mile High Stadium, a very hard place to play. And I think that this will be definitely a trap game. So I'm going to take Broncos. Week 15 against another rebuilding team, the Texans, and after coming off that loss against Bills, they're not going to lose again. Similar to the Texans, rebuilding team, San Francisco visiting from very far away. They have Drew Lock and not a lot of talent on either side of the ball, so Kansas City. Then you have the Broncos again. After I don't think the Broncos are a good team, but they're not good enough to sweep the Chiefs just yet. And Chiefs, like I said, do well against the divisional opponent. And all the AFC, and then you have the one against the Raiders. All the AFC teams are very evenly matched. So I don't think they're going to sweep any other person. So the final, in the end, I'm going to take the Raiders. So there you have it, my Kansas City Chiefs. I have them going 10-7, 3-3 in the division, 6-2 at home, and 4-5 away. And there's my Kansas City Chiefs 2022-2023 predictions. Hope you enjoy.